Education is under attack in at least 30 countries across 5 continents. Attacks happen not only in war zones, but also situations of violence, insecurity, gang-related crime, and social breakdown. These attacks occur with varying levels of scale and severity, and situations are constantly changing. This map illustrates the most current data we have, but it is outdated by several years. We've seen major attacks in Peshawar, Pakistan, in Garissa, Kenya, as well as the abduction and presumed killing of 43 students in Iguala, Mexico. When we research particular situations in depth, we find many more incidents than are being officially reported. What follows are examples of ongoing situations around the world. Abdulaziz is in the 6th grade, and his father, Majid, is a teacher. Every morning, to get to school on the outskirts of Damascus, they walk 400 meters through their neighborhood, or at least what's left of it. Their previous school was completely destroyed by shelling, and despite being only 12 years old, Abdulaziz has nearly numbed to the sounds of bombardment. In Syria, there is no line dividing school and war, as father and son have learned firsthand. 1 year ago, Abdulaziz's teacher documented the horror the school constantly faces.
شو نساوي؟ فالقصف عم يطول المدارس وعم يطول المنازل وعم يطول الطرقات، فشو بدنا نساوي يعني؟ بدنا نطلع، الاولاد الجيل بده يتعلم، فما حاسن الا ما تكمل تعليم، ما حاسن الا تنهض بالمجتمع.
أنا بخاف من القصف، بس ما هذا القصف ما حيأثر على دراستي.
In northern Nigeria, Boko Haram has displaced more than 1.4 million children from their homes. Girls are especially in danger. South of the conflict-affected area, a new school in Yola is educating nearly 600 students. All of them fled their native towns due to Boko Haram, like Mariam.
Hay muchos delincuentes, hay muchas ventas de drogas, muchos asesinatos, violaciones, hay muchos robos. Por eso se le denomina área roja, porque es una de las más peligrosas de Guatemala.
In Central America, the threat of gang violence has spread into the classroom. 6 months ago, Carlos had to drop out of school altogether.
O sea, yo fui a estudiar, ahí se me aparecieron unos chavos y me preguntaron de dónde era. Yo les dije que de aquí abajo. Y entonces ese día me dijeron de que me iban a matar si seguía yendo a estudiar.
When I was kidnapped, I was 14 years old.
Udong Thomas was one of more than 30,000 child soldiers from Uganda. He was abducted by the rebel group, the Lord's Resistance Army, and forced to fight for 4 years until he escaped and eventually became a teacher.
Good. Yes, appeal.
During the war, by the time I came back, I found out my father and the mother, all of them were killed. My learners now, I teach them the effects of the war, and I want them to be educated so that they grew up to make a better citizen, so that we have peace and unity in our community.
Even far from a war zone, the effects of conflict and violence on education are present. In Berlin, this is now the scene every sunrise. Thousands of refugees queuing to register for asylum, including hundreds of children. Until they're granted asylum, they cannot enroll in school, so instead of being in the classroom, they stand in the cold from dawn until dusk. 5 days ago, Fadi, along with his brothers, sister and parents, finished a 26-day journey that started in Aleppo, Syria.
عمري 10 سنين ومخلص دراستي للخامس، ووقفنا الدراسة بسبب الحرب، وبتمنى أرجع لسوريا وأتم دراستي، وزيت لألمانيا سنة أتم دراستي.
More than half of all Syrian refugees are children, like Fadi. He has friends who fled Syria months ago and have already enrolled in German schools. After 6 months out of the classroom, Fadi is eager to join them before he falls too far behind.
لازم يروح الواحد على المدرسة مشان يتعلم الكتابة والقراية. حابة بصير مهندس مشان أعمر بيوت أعمر بنايات.
In 2011, the UN Security Council adopted Resolution 1998 to address the protection of children affected by armed conflict. Without stronger commitment and support, the situation continues to deteriorate. Around the world today, in areas affected by violence and armed conflict, children and young people are being denied a safe learning environment. The world must come together in support of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and ensure that no one is left behind, that everyone who wants an education has access to education, especially if their lives are being torn apart by violence and armed conflict. Our goal is to protect education. Join us.